So we are now up to the problems 12 and 13, and these are different kinds of problems. We're still dealing with reflections, but we've got a drawing that doesn't look like a triangle or a parallelogram or anything, but we're being shown two parallel lines. So we've got line M and line G that are parallel to each other, and we're told that point A is reflected over line M, and its image is then reflected over across line G. So we have two reflections that are happening here. And at the very end of it, we have to determine the distance from line G to the final image of point A, by which they mean the final reflection of point A. So we've got lines M and G. They're parallel. They're 10 units apart from each other. And point B is on line M. And point A is on line segment AB, which is perpendicular to line M. And we're told that the measure of AB is exactly 3 units. Okay. So the first thing we're told is that point A is reflected over line M. Okay, so let's do that first. Point A is reflected over line M. This is line M. This is point A. Now, A on a perpendicular is 3 units to the right of M. So its reflection is going to be on the perpendicular 3 units to the left of M. So we'll call this A prime. And if we have a perpendicular here, or we have a line segment here, we know this length is 3. Okay, so A prime is 3 units to the left of B on a perpendicular. That is what we get when we reflect point A over line M. And its image is reflected across line G. What do they mean by its image? They mean A prime. Okay, this is the image of A prime. So its image, meaning A prime, is now reflected across line G. So we are reflecting this point in red across this line here, line G. And we've got to determine what is the distance from line G to the final image of point A. So let's go ahead and let's reflect point A over line G. Well, what'll help a little bit is to notice this. The distance between point A prime, and line G is this distance from here to here, or from here to here. This is supposed to be a perpendicular line to both of them. This part of the line is 3 units long, and this part of the line segment from here to here is 10 units long. So the total distance of point A prime to line G is 13 units. So that when we reflect A prime over line G, we are reflecting it on a perpendicular 13 units to the right. This is then point A prime prime. Let's call the image of A prime when it's reflected over G as the image A prime prime. So again, we started with A. We reflected A over M. So it went from 3 to the right of M to 3 to the left of M. But 3 to the left of M is 13 to the left of G, because M is 10 to the left of G, plus we went another 3 to the left of G. So A prime is 13 to the left of G. So when we reflected A prime over G, we then brought it 13 to a distance of 13 to the right of G. So A prime prime, which is the reflection of A prime, is now 13 to the right of G. So what is the distance from line G to the final image of point A? It would be 13. The answer is 13.